Hello, everyone. My name is Ivy Studios, and I welcome you to the second episode of the Q.I.Podcast. In this episode, I will be solo hosting and interviewing the two tournament finalists, Infinity Blade and the Worker of Memes. Let's get started.
So, hello.
Hello. You are Infinity Blade, one of the two final contestants in the tournament.
Yes. I feel pretty well about this tournament, and I feel like although there's not a lot of people playing, I still think it's good to have tournaments once in a while and everything, because it sort of gets the competitive people once in a while.
I agree. It's very good. You're big on 5-1s, right? Is
Yes,
that why you're good at it?
Yes, well, I think I've started my 5-1 career in, I think in July this year. It all started when I was just playing Infinity Blade 2, and then I just saw there was like a challenge section, and then I tried doing, for example, the God King, and I felt pretty good. I felt like, wow, I can actually do this stuff, and I just went on to do other 5-1s. I did the entire Infinity Blade 2 list. I'm just doing Infinity Blade 3. And I've done every single one in Infinity Blade 1 except Zero Mech, because he's literally the hardest boss battle of all the 5-1s. Because the problem is he's super fast. He has very dangerous moves that can be very misleading, and he also has setbacks. Every single one of them, you have to parry them, and if you don't parry them, it's tough luck.
Wow. That's quite an accomplished list you have. Do you think you're going to make progress on Zero Mech?
Well, probably next year I finally defeat him, but how do I say this? In 1 month, I completely have the Infinity Blade 2 list, and let's just say I've already taken a month doing Zero Mech. Not Zero Mech, I meant Archarin, because Zero Mech is easy, but it's just that it's so annoying that you have to go through Zero Mech, the unskippable cutscene, and then you just fought Titan and not the Knight, and the difference with that is quicker attacks and everything. It's just once I die to Zero Mech, it's just rage quit of the day.
All right, I got you. So, what is your approach when you fight someone in this arena? Like, what strategy suits you best in multiplayer?
Well, so for starters, I would like to mention that there's no magic, so you can't really use glitches like fast dodging, or like you can't save yourself from step backs, which is very balanced, I'd say. And same thing with Titans. All it does, it just gives you elemental protection. So I think usually like to play offensive style. And because of that, I like to often use my money for my sword and shield, because the problem is that when you're doing an offensive build, you kind of have to watch out for shield, because if someone does a step back, it can go through your shield really fast. And because there's no dual weapons and everything, it's kind of hard to dodge these step backs. So I just use you know I don't spend money on my helm and armor, because that's just a waste of money. Just don't get hit.
All right. So, with that in mind, what is your favorite side, being Cyrus or the Titan?
Well, I like the idea of the Titan. How, for example, you have to be very skilled at tapping the screen to make sure your opponent doesn't get too much hits on you. Because if you're a really good tapper, you can only the Cyrus will only be able to get 2 hits on you. If you're really bad at it, count 5 ultra combos on you. And the thing is, there's also one thing I really like about Titans is that they're unpredictable. For example, Archarin, like, okay, there's this pattern where he does horizontal, and a vertical. I just parry that, and dodge that. And then I just do a break. The thing is, opponents, for example, can repeat attacks, and that almost never happens in Infinity Blade 1. For example, it's never like a vertical, the entire break. That's the problem. For example, I've heard this really absurd combo with Knights where you use a horizontal, a vertical, and then a horizontal again. because the thing is you have to block one, then you have to dodge one, and the third one you can't dodge or block that. It's just a straight hit. And also the tab battles. If I remember how he said that if you're really good at tapping, you can literally only get 2 hits in a single break by Cyrus. Well, same thing goes for tab battles. If you're really good at tab battles, it usually it happens every time when you parry the last hit of the Titan. And if the Titan wins it, it's just considered a death throw. If for example, you, Cyrus, wins the tab battle, you get a few breaks. But the good thing about it is that both of the people get supers, and because there's no magic, Cyrus would have to rely on supers to stop step backs or other attacks if they're really low HP. But Titans, if you want a tab battle and then you just super straight after, it's just even worse than already losing a tab battle.
So, if we had 2 equally skilled players, say as good as you, who do you think would win just based on being on either side of it?
Well, first of all, I like to watch other people in the tournament. For example, I just finished watching the Civil War tournament, and I know everyone how they play as Titans and Cyruses. And you know what I got out of that?
Yeah.
Perfect defense. Because if you are Cyrus, you get an option to have like once you go through the first 2 swords, there's starting to be elemental weapons. And elemental weapons, give you significant bonus damage.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Titans have rings that don't give them magic, but they give them elemental defense and just a tiny bit of health points. And because of that, for example, if say, okay, I watched this video. This guy likes to use this weapon. For example, he picks a flame sword. He doesn't change to a frost sword to confuse the opponent. He still uses the flame sword. I could get a flame ring to defend against it, and then you save a lot of damage being taken. But I like to watch people, and then I just understand if they're gonna change their element or not. Because if you know that, then you're able to understand. Like you can defend yourself from extra damage.
Oh.
And to answer your question about who would win, Cyrus or Titan.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 options. One, if I was taking the knight section where you have to be like a small knight, or you have to be a giant. I would definitely lose with a giant, but I would definitely win with the knight because I can just do really fast combos and then defeat the opponent. So I guess really it depends on what Titan I am. If the smaller the Titan, the better chances I have, because the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
So you always go for the knight path when you're playing your opponents?
Well, not always, because I know, for example, last time, who was it again? I think it was
Suna?
Yes, Suna. I chose the giant path for him, and wait, I'm really sorry to ask this, but is this interview going to be before the tournament or after the tournament final?
I can put it after if you want.
Okay, after, because this is going to be a little bit of secretive, because the problem is, look, I first chose knight in my first battle, then I chose giant. Now I gave my opponent, the worker of memes, a problem. He doesn't know whether I'm going to be a giant or knight. So if I'm going to be a giant, he's going to stock up on shield. If I'm going to be a knight, he's going to stock up on armor.
Smart. Very smart.
Yeah, and because of that, the problem is I sort of have a tiny advantage. He participated in the Civil War tournament, and I just finished watching it, and I know exactly which weapon style he plays. And I'm just not gonna tell what it is. I'm just gonna let you leave it in the description so people find out for themselves.
So, how close have
But
your other battles been so far?
well, I'd say my battles weren't that close. I'd say my first one wasn't really close. My second one I lost 2 times because I choked a tab battle, and the second one I just missed a combo with Cyrus. And so far the half fights weren't as close as I thought they would actually be, but I know that the worker of memes is a tourney. He won the last tournament, and that's why I'm watching the tournament video to see exactly what he did last time. And I'm just gonna guess. I'm just gonna guess that he's gonna do the same thing as he did in the Cerebral Civil tournament. And this matters to me if I'm gonna be playing Titan. If I'm not playing with Titan, I don't have to worry about that.
All right then. So, what do you think is like your biggest strength? Something you never mess up when you're in the arena?
In the arena, okay. I definitely never mess up my combos. Well, no, that's kind of obvious. Nobody can mess up their combos. Well, that's actually a good question. I think if I'm playing as Cyrus, I'm really good at tab battles. If I'm playing as Titan, it'll be tab battles and creating very good combos. Because, for example, imagine I do a vertical that makes the enemy dodge right. But if I do a diagonal, he's gonna have to dodge. Okay, you have to know that if you dodge, for example, if you try to dodge right, 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 it's gonna be slower than right, left, right. I do a vertical, then a diagonal, which still forces him to go to the same dodge. And if he doesn't block or he doesn't have enough block, I'll get some free damage on him.
Wow, that's genius.
Yes, because knowing that doing the same dodge slows Cyrus just a bit, it can really get you good combos. And the reason I don't use horizontals is because some knights, their horizontals can, for example, Archarin's horizontal. The reason I hate Archarin is because his horizontal, for some reason, he attacks from the right, but I have to dodge right. And I'm like, what the heck? It's a horizontal. And even though it's a horizontal, I should dodge left. That doesn't make sense, right? Well, that's the thing. So instead of doing a horizontal, which is way more predictable, I do a diagonal. And it's also a lot harder to parry verticals with a knight, because if he does from up, it can be like straight up, it can be just a tiny bit right or left, and then it can be diagonal or diagonal.
All right. Oh, you clearly know what you're doing here.
Yeah,
I never knew that much about like the dodging and swiping.
No, I don't worry. I just learned that when I was doing Archarin. Most of my knowledge comes from Archarin because I've already spent a month on him. And I realized, for example, when I do dodging, for example, he did the same thing. He did a vertical and then did a diagonal, which forced me to do the same dodge. I know I don't have to use MCD for that, so I just dodged. But I didn't. Right. Because number one, dodging the same direction is slower. And the second thing, Cyrus is a grandpa dodging. And that's why we invented MCD.
All right. Well, my final question for you is, knowing that the worker of memes has won a tournament before and has a very good track record in the tournament community, do you think that you can beat him?
Well, I'd say it will be a very, very, very quadruple, very close battle, because I imagine it will go down like this. The first two, I think I'm gonna go with Cyrus. Probably, I'm taking my bets on Cyrus. I bet that first two I win a Cyrus, and that's what he becomes a knight. He's definitely gonna become a knight. And after that, it goes down like this. He gets me one time, he gets a win. And now he advances to Assassin, which has an absurd vertical combo. So I stack up on Shield for that one. And then I just block, and I win another one. 3 out of 1. But then he gets Iron Guard, which has 4 hits and better health. He will start to get messier combos. For example, he will do a spin, then a up, and then the fourth hit would be the worst one, because that's definitely when my shield dodge would break. and the only thing you can do about it is parrying. But if you parry the last hit, then that's not a very good. That's not a very good idea if you not good at tab battles. And so
Yeah.
I prefer Osiris. I parry the first hits of the combo, and then the last hit I probably block or dodge, or I do parry because I need a super. So at least I need at least one super to clutch up because I know there's going to be one moment where he's going to do a very bad step back, and because of that step back, I'll probably die. But because I won one tab battle, I'll be able to, save myself from that because I don't have magic, and you can't do that. And the problem with super is you can't charge it by damage. I think you can only charge it by winning a tab battle. The problem with supers is it also becomes very glitchy. For example, your next parry, if you do it right after a step back, that's just makes your second parry hit doesn't parry for some reason. I tried it before with other enemies. I even did test with my friend, and it doesn't work. So I only use supers when I need to clutch up. And I think the Worker of Means is a very skilled player, and he deserves the title. But I think it'll be a close fight, and I might win because I think I know him better than he knows me.
I agree with that. You've done your homework.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting comparing what you've just said about your predictions compared to the actual fight.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think that'll just about wrap up the interview. Thanks a lot for doing this. I learned a lot. Hope the viewers learned a lot.
Thank you.
And good luck in the tournament.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, we are good to go.
All right then.
So, the Worker of Memes. You have a championship under your belts, and you are very proficient at the arena. This isn't your first tournament.
This is not my first rodeo. This is my third rodeo.
Yeah, so you've done it all so far.
Yeah. We do not talk about the second tournament, though.
So, how prepared do you think you are for this?
I'm quite prepared. I've been training on my taps because I know that as long as you can out tap, you can probably outwin them.
That makes sense. So, will you be going for like parries?
I'm planning on going for as many parries as possibly can. If they know how to out tap me, then I'm gonna have to change my strategy from there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, have you had any chance to study Blade and his fight style?
I haven't really played with him, but I have. But I think I can adapt to his play style. It just really matters on how well I can adapt to it.
How close have your other battles been so far in this tournament?
None really are close. It's been a 4-0 for a lot of the tournaments. In fact, two tournaments I've competed in, it was 4-0.
So this will be the first real battle.
This is the finals battle, so I hope that it's going to be a real battle.
All right, yeah, I got that from him too. What's your favorite side to play for, like Cyrus or Titan?
Cyrus, I definitely prefer more because as you can at least force a parry, unlike a Titan where you're going to have to rely on the other people on whether you're going to get parries or not.
All right, that makes sense. What path would you choose if you were the Titan side?
Path, I would normally go for God King and try to rush them as much as possible.
Yeah, no one's really able to win if you're the God King, right?
Yeah, because keep in mind, and with goddamn internet problems, you're likely gonna demolish people with the God King.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What path would you choose for Cyrus?
Cyrus, I normally go for more of a attack focused one, so I can get the Infinity Blade first. But I'd also upgrade some armor so that which is like health is my second most important thing. Attack is my most important. Shields, I would also find a lot of importance if you're in a tough situation.
Yeah, probably depends a lot on the opponent too.
Yeah, it's just you don't know what opponent you're taking, so you buy different paths just for different opponents.
Would you say that each side is equally balanced?
I'd say that both sides have some advantage and disadvantage. Like with the God, like say if you get to the God King, you're nearly guaranteed to at least get a lot of damage, maybe potentially win with the God King. But with Cyrus, you're more likely to defeat them all for all rounds if you just know how to tap.
I've noticed that tapping is very important. Those combos can be vicious.
This is going to be a very vicious battle because it's a final 2.
Do you expect to be going to round 7?
That I really don't know the opponent, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to also say that I'm going to wipe them out because I'm not sure. I don't want to be cocky, nor do I want to be underplay myself, so I'm not sure.
Alright. Well, that's a very smart approach. This is a bit of a weird question, but if you have any advice for a new player, how would they approach the arena their first time around?
If you're approaching the arena, I recommend, if you're not very good at tapping, I recommend and trying to. If you're Cyrus, then I recommend trying to avoid tap battles as much as possible. Dodging or blocking are good options for that. And for some enemies, remembering how many pairs it takes before it becomes a tap out is crucial. Like some enemies, you can parry only once. Some enemies twice and thrice before the last parry would be a tap battle. And of course, you want to make sure to get a lot of damage in. So I recommend going for attack more because if you don't go for attack, then it's going to be a longer battle.
All right. All sounds very reasonable. Do you believe that you are the best player in this tournament, just with what information you have?
I really do not want to say because we're not sure if I played. I'd say that I am one of the best, but the best is a different story.
Yeah, all right, that makes a lot of sense. Just wondering because you are, the most experienced out of everyone in this particular tournament in terms of arena battling.
The only returnee after all.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, at this tournament, I'm kind of bummed that I'm the only 3-time returnee, but a lot of these new players have shown a lot of promise. As they could just work on their tap battles. Maybe if they got Cyrus, they might be more lucky. But a lot of these players, don't underestimate them just because.
That's just how it's gonna work, you think?
Yeah, that's just how it's gonna work. Just don't underestimate your opponent. Don't overestimate them to give you a lot of fear, a lot of nervousness. Just think of it like an even battle all the time. Don't ever think that it's going to be a complete wipeout or you're going to do a complete wipeout.
Alright, well, I love that approach. Very humble, very smart. Thanks a lot for this interview, and hopefully we'll see how your predictions turn out.
Yes. I just like to wish good luck for Infinity Blade 2. We'll just see how it goes tomorrow.
Alright, good luck to both of you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
All right.